and lasses there, always smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1862 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, always smiling faces, gammon along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
Good afternoon, people. What's going on? Welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again this afternoon for the Player Rating Show. And this afternoon we got Tony and we got Pete. Afternoon, guys. You good?
Yes.
All right, John. All right, Pete.
Yes.
Brilliant stuff. We go for the comments straight away because I know you've got comments flying through. And before we go on to about the yesterday's game and the player ratings, of course. And got Tom, big up to you, Tom. What I got the performance yesterday. Miggy is sublime. Are we a support phenomenal, especially with the issues? Yep, absolutely right. Afternoon to Leslie. Not seen a club so outcleared. Yes, scored 3 goals. And okay, Tom at work here stream. We have fantastic support. Kudos to them, 1 and all. And for seeing all to Fulham fans, things that's out. We've got comments on that in a bit. Mind you, they're quite a bunch, and I'm used to having neutral sections as well. Big up to Jack as well. Hope you're okay. What a goal from Miggy and pass from Bruno. Big up to Cenk. Big up to let's again clear. Had no idea how to get behind their team. Perhaps the rumours are true, but they have to flash and Sanchez at the match. And we could go on to good afternoon, Gary, and afternoon tomatoes. John's on the blue. Get out. Just get out. Big up to Gareth as well. So, guys, like the video, like what you see, then give it a like. Have to honor and hit that subscribe button as well. And if you like the super chats, then click on the $sign and just give the channel's worth. And if you'd like to become a member, like Rolly is, thank you very much indeed, Rolly. Big up to you, my guy. And do exactly what Rolly has done. And it's 99p. Click on the link as well, and you can become a member for 99p. Not $2.99, not $4.99, 99p. That is all it is on my channel. And big up to Aaron as well. He's got to be one happy guy today. Big City fan as well, Big Blue as well. So, yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, guys, all right, I mean, it's 4-1. We've got to go for it again. And 7th place at the minute in time. Tony, I mean, can we make top 6 this season, mate?
Well, why not, John? You know, why not? We get our fan base saying, oh, yeah, we'll be happy. Some will be happy with 10th. Some will be happy. Sorry, if we can get in that top 6, why not? You go for it, simple as. I mean, we proved it yesterday how well we can play when we're on form. You know, that was a major improvement from the Bournemouth game, in my opinion. I mean, you know, if we'd played like that against Bournemouth, we would have annihilated them. And that's no disrespect to Bournemouth. We could have easily put 5 or 6 past Bournemouth if we'd played like that then. It doesn't matter. They were down to 10 men, you know. I think even if they had 11 men, we would have still steamrolled them, you know. And Mitrovic wasn't on his game for Fulham because he was injured and they put him in. You know, that stupidity playing an injured player. It's like us putting Isak in the team yesterday knowing that he's got a leg injury. So, so basically it was an excellent game yesterday, and, you know, 4-1 was a great result. Shame we didn't keep a clean sheet, you know. Would have been nice too. If Jamal Lewis hadn't have been a bit sloppy to let Deco Diva read in. But, you know, but other than that, you know, we can't take it away. Excellent team performance. 4-1, well-deserved, and plenty men of the match in there. But I'm sure we'll get onto that later.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Big up to you, Pete. How are you, man? You good?
Yes, I'm still delighted from yesterday still.
Great stuff. And I didn't ask you yesterday, because you was here yesterday on my channel. Just give us a little breakdown on yesterday's game, yet.
Well, I thought we controlled that from start to finish. Even if they didn't get the Chalobah sent off, I think we still would have won that game. because we were so comfortable. We took the game at them. It didn't take Fulham till about the 60-odd minute to register a shot at goal. And it's very comfortable for us. It really, really was, particularly at the back. We did well in midfield. Great to see Wilson back among the score sheet. And Miggy, wow, one of the best games I've seen him play at this football club. I think that's his best performance so far playing for this club.
Without a question, Pete, without a question. We've got one called Gareth saying, if you can keep our main players fit, who knows? A top 6 is quite possible. You know what it is like, Gareth? I had to see what you're trying to say, but look, if you can get more players coming in January and you can turn draws into wins, then I think we could get top 6 this season. I don't see why not. Our defence is absolutely solid. Okay, we could see the Liverpool goal yesterday, but we got the job done in the end. Our midfield, Joe Linton's going to come back soon. Bruno, that space is his. Sean Longstaff has got to do it every single week, Tony. And if you can see Sean Longstaff bring the Rafa form, right, does it every single week, we have no problems with Sean at all whatsoever. But he has to deliver every single week.
Yeah, Johnny does. I mean, as I've said this a while ago, if we can get Sean Longstaff back the player he was under Rafa, anything's possible. But he's got to get that level. He's got to keep playing at them levels. He kind of just drop his pace off one week and then the next week come back and have a barnstorming performance, And he's got to keep his place in this team because, he pushed, like literally yesterday, Joe Linton was stuck on the bench. Now Joe Linton's got to fight to get back in that team now. Mm-hmm. And this is where you want competition.
Yeah.
We just need a stronger squad. And once we got a stronger squad, and you've got a bench which is as good as a first team, the first 11 that's out there, then you're more than halfway there, to achieving anything you want to achieve. But, I always said it would take time to get rid of a lot of these players that were left from the pre-Ashley era. So from the Ashley era where he's left behind, trying to get rid of some of them, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, it's going to take time. We weren't always going to get rid of all the players in one window because that would be absolutely foolish. You've got to keep some of them there because even if they're not good enough and not starting, but you've got that little core group there that you can keep together, the togetherness of the team. But then you can just eventually wean these players out and get rid, It just proves with getting rid of Dwight Gale. I don't think he scored a goal for Stoke, if I'm honest. Or he might have scored one.
They lost today, didn't they?
And he got hauled off today as well. So, we got rid of a big earner off the wage bill. Thank God we did.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think Alex Neil's gone there sort of thing. He should have stopped at Sunderland, to be fair, but he doesn't know what he's letting himself into as well. But that's their problem, not ours. Bit of breaking news, by the way, people. I don't know if anyone's seen this. Bruno Lage has been sacked by Wolves. That's absolutely no surprise there at all whatsoever. So something ain't quite right to that football club yet. It's just seen that he's lost the players, the fans, and he just had to go. So Bruno Lage has been sacked by Wolves. And like I said as well, any surprises there, Pete?
No, not really. I've got to admit. I mean, that's one winning 15 for Wolves. From what I've been reading, that's not a good record, is it? And you're going to be under amounts and amounts of pressure if, in terms of being a manager, it's just not been good enough from Wolves. It's been a very poor start to the season from them. They were starting to dip a lot towards the end of last season as well, and it's just not been good enough. And I think the board have just... the fact to come to the senses and make the right decision, and it just wasn't meant to be for Bruno Lage for them. So it'll be interesting to see who does take that job. But I think they had no choice but to pull the plug on him. One win in 15. If I was a Wolves fan, I'd be worried with that record.
Absolutely. You got to take last season in consideration as well. We can't forget that. Go to see what Tony's got to say about that. And Facebook user, I need to get your name. If you can get us a name, that'd be amazing. Thank you. See, Kamishi's on course a nice lump in time for Santa coming. We did warn the West Brom fans, so we sure did.
And the West Brom fans all want them gone.
Exactly.
They've had enough.
You can't You can't say that about Steve Bruce. Come on, the media. You know, he's a nice family man. You know, he's such a nice guy. Luke Edwards was all up his backside. You know, he's a great guy. We were wrong to sack him and everything, Pete. You know.
Well, that's what.
Well, what a shade.
That's the thing that's going to really bug me. They'll not pick on the West Brom fans. They'll not pick on the West Brom fans if he does get the boot from there. It had to be Newcastle. Always had to be Newcastle, didn't it?
Well, the thing is, you see, what we get all the hassle. We get all the hassle from the media because we wanted him out the club. All us fans, right?
Well, yeah.
And yet nothing was said. Nothing was said when the Aston Villa fans were actually throwing cabbages at him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just not good enough. People say, "Oh, but you give him too much abuse." Yes, there'll be some fans out there who would go way over the top, but proper fans, no. They'll give that honest opinion, and that he's just an absolute dreadful manager. If he's struggling at West Brom, and they're just hanging outside the relegation zone, that just shows he's not good enough to be a manager anymore. He should have.
He's a dinosaur.
He should have. After we given that £8 million payoff, he should have just called it time on terms of management now.
Exactly, but he just wants to be greedy and wants more money. We know he is a shite manager, and we told Mike Ashley this as well, Lee Chonley this as well. They didn't listen to us, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? Thank God for takeover. I mean,
problem is, John.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Steve Bruce, right? He's a dinosaur manager with dinosaur tactics, which are left back in the Ice Age, not in this current age.
Exactly. I mean, 5 at the back in pre-season against League Two teams and a Conference North side when York were in there at the time.
Yeah. Absolutely, guys. I have to agree with you there because, look, he has done as a manager. He is absolutely
It's not just about it. People say, "Oh, but it's pre-season." It's how you're going to go into the new season. And we were just thinking, well, this is not going to go well if we persist in 5 at the back against League Two teams and the performances are still drab as anything.
Mm-hmm.
What's that tell you?
Totally agree.
We were proven right.
Correct. Pete, you're absolutely right. And it just goes to show that, he's absolutely clueless. I'm sure no wonder another championship club will be after him. Could be Wolves. If he gets sacked, he could get the Wolves job. Who knows? Can you imagine that? I doubt it very much. If you're not such a midfield quality and a winger, top 6 will be hard to achieve. Early red card. Early red card changed everything for Fulham game. Should not make us relax. 4-1 good result. Well done. And got Alan's on fire, but at least the tune kept him quiet for his part. He had to be the buyer of the decade. And large been sacked to Wolves. Yes, he has. City are nearly as good as the mighty Magpies as well. Yes, we gave him a game as well. They came to us as well. And me personally, I think we should have won that game. I've got to share the screen, people, right? It's a Fulham fan, right? Don't worry, guys. We're going to do the play ratings very soon. So
I think I know what's going to be, which one you're going to show up.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up right now. If I can get it up there. There you go. It's a Fulham fan, right? I'm going to read it out, people. He said, out of all the games this season so far, I've never met a more classless bunch of Geordies, arrogant, morally bankrupt and entitled. Their attitude here has been appalling. One thing I'm going to say on that, right? I mean, look, this morning, I sent that tweet out yesterday, right? About we've done 240 million quid, right? Most of them agreed with us. Most of them saying anyway, trust, yeah, cool, that is fine. You know, I'm an Eddie fan. But I had one this morning, right? Well, I couldn't name and shame him, right? Seeing that or being negative. No, I wasn't. I'm just speaking the truth. It's as simple as that, yeah? And one thing I'm going to say, Tony, right? You might agree with this as well before we get onto this one as well. Basically saying that, I said this before, that our fan base are going to be worse than AFTV. That's what's going to happen. In my opinion, I think we've gone above AFTV when it comes to social media. We said yesterday, I could understand why Macy said that she's not going to say any more about calling play our suit, right? But when we say that sort of thing, calling play our suit, like Sean Longstaff and Jake Murphy and to a degree around Fiesta, to a degree Matt Ritchie, if he plays, right? We're going to get called out as well. But no, Tony, we're just going to say it how it is and we're going to speak the truth. And if they don't like it, cry some more.
Exactly, John. At the end of the day, it's all about opinions. And We've all got our own opinions on different players and things like that, okay? And the problem is, if there's a player that isn't pulling their weight and we say this player hasn't been good enough and hasn't pulled their weight, then somebody goes at you and, oh, but this player's done this and this. Yeah, okay, they might have done that in the past, but if they're having a bad season or a bad run of games, you've got every right to say, well, hang on, they're not playing very well.
Exactly.
And like when you go to football, if you go to the match and like they don't play well, like they did at Bournemouth, like we did against Bournemouth, and the fans boo at the end of the game, the fans have got every right to vent that frustration, because at the end of the day, we're paying customers going to the football match, and we want to see our team do well, and we want to see our team, you know, either win games, draw games, whatever it is, but we want to see our team put that effort in. And if that effort isn't there, then as paying customers, you're going to be aggrieved to say anything. You know, you go to a car showroom, buy a brand new car, bring out the garage and, oh, hang on a minute, where's that dent from in the bonnet? You're not going to just say, I'll accept, I'll get knocked out. You're going to go straight back in and say, I've just paid you 30 grand for this car. Look at the dent in the bonnet, you know? So it's the same thing. You know, you're going to be aggrieved. And I think our fan base just need to calm down. But at the end of the day, if I say something about a player and people don't agree with it, that's fine. But don't go trolling people when you don't like an answer. Don't get on at them and, you know, and bully people or troll people or whatever, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be doing that. As a fan base, we should be united and united as one.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree, Tony. Totally agree. And just to read this out as well. Stephen saying the right day. Stephen, big up Stephen, by the way. Love the show. Thank you very much indeed, pal. Really appreciate that. Man, you are shite now. Newcastle City are the only team which are hard to beat. Yes, I have to agree there, Tiger. I mean, if we play United in a couple of weeks' time, that performance, I think we could go there and beat them, but it's going to be tough. And Steve said, great win today, but please, Newcastle, don't give us a repeat Bournemouth performance against Brentford next weekend. That's very, very 210%. And yeah, Pete, your take on it as well, mate. If Tony's right, I believe he is, you know.
Absolutely. You can have an opinion. And again, if people don't agree with you, then they don't have to agree with you. But it's when people go over the top and just hammer you completely for it. And say, oh, well, you should be agreeing with what I've said. Or you should be agreeing with this, that, and the other. It's not like that. You should just respect people's opinions at the end of the day, whether you agree with them or not. Because this trolling people, it's ridiculous and it's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And it has a massive effect on people as well.
Yeah. Someone had a quote today, right? When he went in hard on this, right? And basically sort of thing, Enna Lewis and FFS, right? So I replied back to him and I told him what for, right? And you know what, guys? I still haven't had a reply back from him. You know why? Because he hasn't got the guts or the bottle to reply back. That is the thing. So I actually shut him down, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Didn't block him, but I actually shut down those comments. As simple as that, whether they like it or not. So me personally, right, have an opinion, right? I think if you have an opinion, cool. But one thing I'm going to say, right, I've got an opinion, Pete's got an opinion, Tony's got an opinion, right? Respect their opinions, yeah? You don't have to believe them. If you don't believe them, walk away. It's as simple as that. Tony, you got something to bring up, mate, on your screen between Murphy and the stats.
Yeah, so, you know, while he was full of running yesterday, Jacob Murphy, he still doesn't convince, you know. So this is yesterday. So we'll go to yesterday's game. He got a 7.2, by the way, which is not bad, really. And so he hasn't been himself. But so yesterday he played the full 90 minutes, no goals, no assists. He had 2 shots on target, 1 off target. So that's not too bad in the game. Dribble attempts, he had 2, but weren't successful in either one of them. 58 touches. His accurate passing was only 64%, which is 27 out of 42. He made 2 key passes. 4 crosses, none were accurate. No long balls. Out of the 8 ground duels, he won 2. Didn't have any aerial duels. He lost possession 23 times, 1 foul. He had 2 tackles and 2 dribble passed. For me, for a winger, not really great stats in my opinion. I mean, to have 4 crosses and not one of them were accurate, it just shows you, it's not good enough. And this is why we need in January to strengthen the department for wingers. You're crying out for a winger who can do a lot more than what Jacob Murphy's done in that 90 minutes. It's that. Them to me are just poor stats for somebody who's supposed to be a winger. He's 27 now, and he's never really. I've never seen him go past 25% of crosses in the season. So that just shows you how bad of a player he actually is. He couldn't even do it in the championship. So we'll have a look at. We'll now go to Joe Willock. So we'll get Joe up in a minute. Hang on, just while this happened there.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. There's Joe there. Now, they gave him a 7.6 yesterday. We'll bring his stats up. So, Joe Willock, 90 minutes played, 72 touches in 90 minutes, 47 out of 50 passes, 94% accurate. Mm-hmm. So that's brilliant for a midfielder. He had 4 key passes, 2 crosses which weren't accurate, 2 long balls, both accurate. He created the 2 big chances, which were 2 of the goals. 2 shots he had on target, none off target. He had 2 shots blocked. He missed 2 big chances. Ground duels, he won 3 out of 5 ground duels. He only lost possession 12 times. He only fouled once and made 1 tackle. Now, to me, that's not bad at all. This is a Joe Willock that's getting back to the way he was. He just needs to start putting the ball in the net. And, he's getting better and better every game. I thought he had an outstanding game yesterday. And if we look at his overall in the season so far, obviously out of 8 games, he's scored no goals. He's assisted 2. And his crosses are 24%, which is more than what even Jacob Murphy's is, and he's a winger. And bearing in mind, Joe Willock's a central midfielder. Even his long balls are 83%, and his accuracy in his own half is 91%. But per game, his passing's 88% accurate every year per game. Them stats don't lie. He's getting back to his best, Joe Willock. And I think once he starts on a scoring run, I don't think he'll stop, if I'm honest. We've just got to see more out of him, but he is getting back to his best, And then we'll have a quick look at Mr. Bruno. The only best Bruno in the Premier League, to be honest with you. Now let's look at his stats for yesterday against Fulham. So there we go. 59 minutes he played, 1 assist, 68 touches, 52 out of 59 accurate passes, 88%, 4 key passes, 1 for the Almiron goal. 9 out of 12 long balls accurate. Didn't have to make any crosses. Big chances created 1. That was the 1 for Almiron. His dribble attempts, 1 out of 1 successful. Ground duels, he won 5 out of 6. He only lost possession 8 times. He was fouled once, cleared once, made 3 tackles, and he done 1 dribble past. Now, that's not bad for a player of that caliber. We could do with a few more Brunos in the team, if I'm honest with you. Yes. And his assists is 1 assist so far. But again, his stats are there to see, accurate per game, 87%, 93% in his own half, 84% in the opposition half. Interceptions per game, he makes at least 1 per game. And that's only in 5 games. So just think when this guy does a full season, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? But I don't know what you make of them stats, but I think it just shows you how bad Jacob Murphy actually is.
Yeah, I think that's cracking stats, by the way, between Bruno and Miggy. Bruno's stats, 60 minutes played. That's unbelievable, man. I think he had a brilliant game yesterday. Absolutely fantastic game, Pete.
Absolutely, and he's been a big miss since he's been out injured as well, hasn't he? And that ball he set up for Miggy's first goal was absolutely incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, outside of the foot, outside of the over the top ball, absolutely amazing, amazing. Martin Terrier and Musa Diaby, two wingers, will be greeted for Newcastle in January.
But Terrier signed a contract in the summer, so he's not available.
Yeah, that's it. I think he's gone. Is he still at Rennes or has he gone to?
Yeah, no, he's still there. He signed a new deal.
Fair enough. Cross him off the list then. Big up to Andrew, by the way. Good day, lads. Hope you're okay. Alan, I thought Murphy had a better game yesterday. Everyone's fit. Don't think it starts. Heard Howard saying some players not trained, hence team selection. Now we know why.
I mean, it was a little bit better, but it still wasn't a fantastic overall performance there, was it? I mean, the two attempts he had, one on his weaker left foot, which went off target, and the one on his stronger foot, where it was easy for Leno just to gather up.
Yeah, absolutely. I said yesterday that just because they had good games yesterday, they got to do it every single week. And I don't mean once every often, because I don't want that. I want to see them play every single week. This is their chance to stake a claim. You know, they could be saving millions and millions of pounds if they perform. Yeah. And that's what we're going to need to do. If they want to be in a team, they've got to perform week in, week out. You know what I mean? Brentford, they might be in the team again. Joe made again that team. He's going to have to fight first place. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to see Joe in, but I think he's going to have to fight first place as well. So, yeah, it is what it is. So
the thing is, John, no, you say, when I put up those stats yesterday about Murphy before the game started, the stats are there to say he's not that good, John. He's not good enough. I mean, exactly. You know, his brother, I showed you his stats. His stats are similar to Murphy's, his twin brother, Jacob. Josh Murphy. But, you know, he was in the Premier League and wasn't brilliant. And then he hasn't really been brilliant for Cardiff. And now he's back in League. Now he's in League One with Oxford United, you know. Yeah. Jacob Murphy, I don't think he'd walk into a top end of the Championship team. I think he'd walk into a more mid-table, bottom end Championship team. You know, he's not good enough. And if we can get wingers in, I think he needs to go next. If we get somebody in, say, January, say we get Moussa Diaby in, for instance, and say we get this Mudryk in as well, or we get Moussa Diaby and we get Maddison in, we can get rid of Murphy then. That's the chance to get rid and say, right, there you go and find another club, you know. You're not needed no more. But we're never going to get rid of him if we can't get these players in. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Murphy's contract doesn't run out till 2027.
Exactly. Another stupid Mike Ashley move to give him a 6-year deal, just because he had a good season where he scored that free kick against Wolves, you know. But he did nothing really that season. So, you know, just the madness of Mike Ashley again.
Yeah, that's the thing. 2 fingers up at our club, 2 fingers up us as well. Do you know what I mean? But now we got to pick up the pieces. I always got to pick up the pieces. It's just unfair on them. Let's be real, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, right? But it's going to take a couple of years to actually see our club get into better shape. So he's still got a lot of players are not good enough. It's simple as that.
I mean, you go back 6 years, John, when we came out the Championship and we're back in the Premier League. Now, Lascelles that season had a cracking season for us. I think there was one game where he was man of the match because even Jimmy Redknapp says what a player he is. And that's when Chelsea offered 50 million for him. And Mike Ashley said, no, he's not for sale. And I thought, what a mug, you should have took that because you could have got 50 million quid from him. And I'm surprised Ashley didn't sell him, if I'm honest.
The fact is, if he did sell him, you know where that money was going. And it's
the back pocket.
That was the thing.
That's very true. That's very true. And then, you know, but he's gone now, sort of thing. But I see where you're coming from, Tony. You're absolutely right. We could have took 50 mil for Lascelles. We could have took 50 mil for Sean Longstaff to United. And we could have been 100 million quid on 2 bang average players, sort of thing. I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm not going to lie.
Didn't we pay 2.5 million for Lascelles? So we could have made a hell of a profit on him.
Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, Ashley's missed out on 100 mil. Simple as that. He's going to go in his back pocket. Still, he's missed out. So we go to Alan. Agree, not my number one choice, but needs a must. Static, big up to you on your win yesterday, mate. Hope you're okay, mate. It's like watching Brazil if you had the yellow shirts on. And Miron's first goal, that was outstanding. It was what a pass by Bruno, by the way. And Stevens get rid of Murphy and Theatre. Hopefully, in place with one quality midfielder, and we will be well start to top with Anderson, getting more game time. Talking off Elliot, Pete. He came on yesterday. Wasn't a great game, but he is so eager.
Oh, absolutely. And it just shows why he wants to prove himself in this Premier League now. Given that new contract as well, Eddie's given him his chance now. Hopefully it's his opportunity to see what he can do, because there's something definitely in the lad. There really, really is. I've seen some good performances when he's come off the bench. I thought in the Tranmere game, where he started that, he was running, he was all over, put himself about and all of that. It's his opportunity, as I mentioned, to see what he can do in the Premier League now.
Absolutely.
The kid's got a bright future.
He has indeed, and you know what it is. This guy's not just only got a bright future; he's going to get games for many, many years to come. Tony, he's got to be up there.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, John. I mean, he's, he did all right when he came on yesterday. The only thing I was getting a bit annoyed at was the bloody commentator, because he kept referring to Anderson as Longstaff, and I'm like, it's not Longstaff, it's Anderson. Look at the number; he's got number 32, and he's back not number 36. And then eventually got it right that it was Anderson. But yeah, he tried yesterday. He got a half an hour run out, which is not bad, really. I think had he been fit against Bournemouth, I would like to have seen him given a full 90 minutes against Bournemouth, but he was injured, so half an hour isn't a bad shout. I'm sure he will come in time. He'll get that game time, and he will come good in time. Just got to keep persevering and just bring them on. But I think he will get his chance, and when he does get his chance, I hope he grabs it with both hands, and then he might savour a few million as well.
Absolutely, totally agree. Just going for this comment as well, which is Gary as well. Big up to Gary. Every penny actually made, none of them went back to the club. All it went is back pockets, lads. Absolutely. Totally agree. Right, we'll go for the player ratings. Yeah, it's half an hour in. If you do like the video, like what you see, just smash the like button. Also, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to become a member, like Rory's just done, thanks again, Rory. Then click on the dollars on the members sign 99p. And if you'd like to hit the super chats open as well, like to do a kind donation, then click on the dollar sign. Give what the channel is worth. So yeah, go for the player ratings. We rate each player marking out of 10, and you can join in as well, people. And we're going to be honest and truthful on our player ratings as well. We're going to give the managers a rating, the fans a rating, and the referee a rating as well. So let's start with you, Tony. I'm going to give you Nick Pope. I mean, look, he had now to do except picking the ball at the back of the net when Bobby Reid put that goal in. What would you give for Nick Pope? He didn't do much.
Yeah, well, he had a quiet game because we kept Fulham quiet, and it took them a long time to get a shot on target, I think, till the 60th minute. But what he did have to do when he had to handle the ball and his distribution, that was absolutely spot on. There was nothing wrong with that whatsoever. He didn't look out of place. He didn't look the nervous keeper that we saw in the England team against Italy and Germany. But like I said, John, that's because of the shit that he's got in front of him. Unfortunately, he doesn't trust them. And if you've got somebody in front of you if you've got a back four in front of you that you don't trust, not only do you feel nervous for them, but it makes your own performance look a bit nervy as well. So I think a lot of fans who've had a go at him during the week have given, I hope they're eating a lot of humble pie today after seeing the way he played yesterday. Because he handled things well. He got his distribution right. His kicking wasn't too bad. Could do nothing about the goal. That Lewis just let that player drift in. So certainly he's had nothing to do apart, but his distribution, I think, was good. I'm going to give Nick Pope a 6 because I think because it was a quiet day at the office for him.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me. 6 out of 10 for Nick Pope. Pete, I'm going to give you Kieran Trippier. I mean, look, I think he had a good game yesterday, and he is our leader. 60-odd passes, 2 key passes, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 3 clearance. So it's defensive quality as well. He's got to go to the World Cup, Pete.
Absolutely. Shows he should be the current captain of the football club at the moment. As well, does what he has to do in terms of going forward and his defending as well. He's crossing definitely was a lot more better as well, which was absolutely fantastic. So very pleased with that performance. So I'll give Trippier an 8.
Okie dokie. Tony, on to the other side, I'm going to give you Dan Burn. I mean, look, when he came in left back, a lot of people wanted to see Matt Target left back, but for me, it's a surprise when they come in. I thought he was good yesterday. He kept the ball well, and not only that, it doesn't offer you an attacking threat because obviously centre back. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. But is he the answer left back? Definitely not. But he did a job.
Yeah, he was solid enough yesterday, John. Did get down the pitch a few times, but he did what he had to do. As I can say, solid. He's not a left back; he's more centre half. But still, when if you're a winger and you're running to a big, I'm going to say a brick shit house like Dan Burn is at 6'7", and you're 5'8" or whatever. I think he was 5'6". I think this guy was. So he was a foot shorter than Dan Burn. That's going to be intimidating to anybody. I thought he did all right, Dan Burn, yesterday. I'll give him a 7.
Okay, 7 for Dan Burn. And we're going to the centre backs. We're going to give you Fabian Schär. For me, I thought it was much better than last week. And or 2 weeks ago, as I speak. And yeah, there's a couple of loose passes in the game. And he's done well, Fabian Schär, but confident in possession as well. Much better than against Bournemouth.
Are we giving that one to me?
Yeah, Fabian. Yeah.
Yep, Fabian Schär. Yes, I'll give him an 8 as well. Again, did what he had to do as well. Some of his long balls were really, really good as well. And you can see he plays well alongside Sven Botman, doesn't he? He really, really does. Of course, Eddie likes his ball played centre backs as well. And that was, again, another really solid defensive display from Fabian Schär, so an 8 for him.
Absolutely. And his partner in crime is the Flying Dutchman. He's not a Flying Dutchman, but look, at the end of the day, he is a quality Dutchman. And I'm going to give you Sven. For me, he's excellent today in that possession of the ball. When he does get the ball, his calm is absolutely perfection as well, possession as well. And his pass success rate, from what I've heard, is over 90%. This guy, we've been bigging this guy up for ages, that this guy has to start in games now. I mean, Tony, what would you give him?
Yeah, Sven Botman, again, he's becoming a real fan's favourite now. As I said, I was annoyed that he didn't play against Bournemouth. I thought it was a bad move to keep him on the bench. He's a great ball-playing centre-back. He can pick out a pass. He can unlock defences from his own defence. But not only is he also good at defending, he's also good in the attacking sense. I mean, that header he had yesterday, that was only the faintest of touch from Leno, because had he not touched that, that was in. That was only thanks to the fingertips of Leno stopping him getting his goal. And it's not going to be long before he gets a goal, by the way. He's knocking on the door for one. Eventually that door will open and it'll land the back of the net. But yeah, another calmness of displays yesterday. Absolute outstanding. To be honest, if I was to give a man the match, I think I would have to give it to him over Miggy, because of the way he was so solid yesterday, and the calmness on the ball, his attacking threats as well. So I'm going to give Botman a 9.
Yeah, sounds about right for me. I think I'll give him a 9 as well, because his defensive qualities as well. And what I love about Botman as well, he's just so calm. He's just so, when he gets the ball, right, he doesn't get stressed. He doesn't get flustered, But the biggest test of him, when he gets pressed, and not many players press him as well. I want to see that and see how he comes out of it in future games, you know what I mean? And then we'll see how quality Sven Botman is, if you see what I mean, guys. So he hasn't really been pressed yet, Tony. That's the thing.
And also, John, if you look back, I mean, some of our fan base, because I saw it on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Do you remember when we didn't get him in January and he played against Chelsea in the Champions League for Lille?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of our fans were like, oh, I'm glad we didn't get him. Look how rubbish he's played against Chelsea. He looks awful. He doesn't look like he'd be good enough for the Premier League. And I'm like, yeah, but hang on. He's playing for a Lille side who are not being funny on par to what that Chelsea team were at the time under Tuchel. And you can't just put the blame on him for being that player. But I tell you what, I hope a lot of them fans are now eating humble pie because now they've seen him come in and he's been one of our best players of the season so far. And what a buy he was for 35 million. When you think Van Dijk cost 75 million from Southampton for Liverpool, and he's going to overtake Van Dijk. And if he doesn't get in that World Cup squad for Holland, there's something seriously wrong with Louis van Gaal.
I blame Louis van Gaal for it as well because he's the coach now. And let's be real. I mean, he's got to look at him. He's under 21 international, but he's got to be good enough to play in the Dutch team as well. They do play a back three, by the way, and I think Botman would fit in perfectly in that team as well. I really do. I think he's ready. And let's go on to the midfield. Sean Longstaff. For me, Pete, I thought it was is it good to see him back? Wouldn't be my first choice, but at the end of the day, I think he's had his best game. Yes, had his best game for a long time. I mean, he comes in, then leaves Bruno to play an advanced role, right? Scored a goal, and yeah, he did okay. He did all right.
I thought did very well yesterday, Sean Longstaff, but we'll want to see that consistently now because that is the downside of it. We don't see that on a consistent basis. But very good performance from Sean Longstaff yesterday because I know Botman was very unlucky not to get that goal, but Longstaff just comes in right place at the right time and he just slots that in calmly to put a 3-0 up into the game. Much improved performance from Longstaff it was, but we need to see that consistently now. If whether it's off the bench or whether he's starting games now. Hopefully he can start to kick on. I really, really hope so, but we'll see. But really good performance, I thought, from Sean Longstaff. I will give him an 8.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him an 8. I would have given him an 8 as well, but it's not my player ratings. It's you guys' player ratings as well. So Sean Longstaff gets an 8 out of 10. And let's go on to I'm going to give you Bruno, Tony. I tell you what, 60 minutes he played yesterday, 59 minutes he played yesterday. Did a wonderful, wonderful over-the-top pass as well to Miggy. A brilliant assist as well. But the game was over. We took him off, which I think is great to take him off because it was game over, to be fair. I don't think Eddie Howe got it right, taking them off early, sort of thing, so you can just keep them in for the Benfica game. He did take the game yesterday, and Fulham just couldn't handle him at all whatsoever, to be quite honest with you. But what a game. What a 60 minutes, Tony.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant yesterday, Bruno was. He's getting back to fitness now. You can see that. And, you know, it's that pass for Almiron was sublime, wasn't it? I mean, it was Almiron who passed it to Bruno, then Bruno placed it over. And we've seen Bruno do this for Leon as well. You know, no matter, he's good with these through balls and he's over the top balls. He didn't really do a lot wrong. He didn't do anything wrong in my eyes yesterday. He was absolutely fantastic yesterday. To do so much in 59 minutes shows you how class this guy is. We could, we need to get more players to the same level as Bruno at that level of play. So for his 59 minutes, I've got to give him a 9.
Yeah,
agree.
That's a fair. Agree, fair enough. I mean, he gives 9 out of 10 for Bruno. Fair shouts, yeah. We're going to go on to you, Peter. We're going to give you Joel Willock. Now, listen, I'm a big fan of Joel Willock. 2 assists yesterday in the game, and on another day, he would have grabbed a goal himself. But look, at the end of the day, I think this is Joel Willock's best performance of the season, and that's his very best. And we still need to see goals from him. If he does that, then we're going to see the Joel Willock back.
Yep, very good, fantastic, really, really good performance from Willock yesterday. As you mentioned, that's one of his best. Unlucky not to score, but it helps in assisting the goals. for us as well, definitely, which was really, really good to see. I think he's starting to really improve on his game now, Joe Willock. He really, really is. And again, we could a player we've got if he keeps up performing, because he can do it. He really, really can do it. And I believe we will start seeing that a lot more from Joe Willock. Joe Willock, I'm giving a 9 as well.
Quite a few 9s today, isn't there? Very good for you, Pete. Well done. 9 out of 10 for Joe. So I like coffee. Big up to you. Normally first. That record help you. We scored with 10 men. That's Claude Murphy. I think he's a Fulham fan. I think he is. I could be wrong. Claude,
well, he must be, John, with that comment. I mean, he's got to be, because he says we scored with 10 men. And, you know, what I want to say to him is, even if you had Shalabar on the pitch, I don't think he's that great anyway. I'm sorry, he's not even a Premier League player.
Exactly.
I don't know if his brother's the one who plays for Chelsea. I don't know if they're related or not. But the Shalabar you had playing yesterday, I don't rate him at all. So it doesn't matter that he got sent off or not. I still think we would have steamrolled at Fulham anyway.
With him in the team as well, I thought he was reckless. That tackle yesterday, by the way. And that Marcus Silva's comment yesterday, it was an absolute joke. I mean, I saw your comment, Pete, by the way. It was an absolute disgrace. It really was. You know what I mean? What was he on about? I mean, look, you can't come out and say that. He's just been a bit salty. He's just another manager, right, that thinks Newcastle are the easy team to play with and get 3 points. But no.
It's definitely red. It's definitely red card. It's dangerous. His studs are showing, and he's just flying in dangerously. Longstaff's lucky not to have had that his leg or ankle snapped into bits, because that could have happened. It was a dangerous challenge.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, kid. I'm gonna have to key you, Pete, as well. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. So I just got before I go on to the next one, Jake Murphy, Tony. Right, I just got a DM. Right, and this guy, right, he says, "Why the f you're following this? You false accused me of racism. So I have apologies and f and take yourself a walk off of here." That is some comment, by the way. That is so tweet, by the way, and that's on the DM as well, people. That is on the DM. I am gonna screenshot that and post it on DM as well. So that's for another day. I can't be bothered with that, by the way, people. I cannot. Yeah, you get some absolute pricks coming on there and say things like that. Yep. Okay, we move on to the next one. Jake Murphy, Tony. I mean, we
you would give him in, wouldn't you?
Hey!
I knew he was gonna. I knew he was gonna give him.
Very good. You know, yeah. I know. I mean, I know he's got a lot to say about Jacob, but look, at the end of the day, I'm going to give him Miggy, by the way, Pete. So I'm going to give him Jacob. There's a lot of unrest on social media when it's had a surprise start. Look, he did okay. I wouldn't say he was wow, but he did what he had to do. He done all right. I thought he's one of his better games. Take it away, Tony. Take it away, man.
Yeah, as hard as it is to say, he did play better yesterday than he has for a long while. But his confidence is still shot somewhere. His crossing isn't very good. I mean, 4 crosses he had yesterday, none of them hit the target. But he's still not there. You know, he's 27 now. He's had his peak now, and you know he's had the time. He should have been better by now, and he's still not improving. Yes, he did all right yesterday. He had a couple of shots on goal, but if you want to finish top 6, he's not the sort of winger you want to play week in, week out to get you in the top 6, unfortunately. But after all, he did have a good game yesterday. For his energy and his effort yesterday, this is going to surprise a lot of people, including Pete. I'm actually going to give him a 7.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I would say that's fair. 6, 7, I think that would have been fair.
Yeah. He did stick the ball through too well, by the way, for that goal.
Yeah.
For the third goal. So I'll give him that as well. And if he had a wow in the game, I said before, if he has a wow again, like score 2 goals, score 2 assists for me, I'll give some players a 10. And I've done that once or twice in my time. Go on, Tony.
Thing is, John, if he plays next week against Brentford, if he starts, he's got to carry on these performances, because it's no good playing well yesterday and then play Brentford and then be absolutely woeful and being hauled off after, say, 45 minutes. You need to keep the intensity up.
Absolutely, because I'm not going to say, "Whoa, he's back, Jacob's back," right? You know what I mean? He's got to do it every single week, Tony. You're absolutely right. You've got to play 10 good games, and you can afford one poor game, it's honestly win 10 good games as well. I want to see this guy going to make the news, right? Getting us into European football. I want to make that cracking assist, which actually got us into European football. Do you know what I mean? So that's what you got to do. You've got to do it. You've got to smash it every single week. And he hasn't done it enough. That's the thing. So, look, he had a good game. I think, he's got to do the same. I want him to be man of the match next week. I want to do my man of the match. I want to see him terrorise Brentford defence. We'll see about it. Right then, Pete, I'm going to give you the honour of giving you Miggy, right? I mean, look, for me personally, he showed fantastic visual ability, right? That goal, the first one, his first goal, when he put the keeper over the keeper's head into the corner, that was a beautiful goal. Unlucky not to get a hat-trick as well, but today he showed us what he can do. I've been begging this guy to show us what he can do. Show us. Take it away, Pete.
Absolutely. I mean, that was probably his best performance I've seen from the club. It really, really was. Not mentioned that first goal. I mean, the way he just put his boot through that was incredible, which Leno was got a massive shock. And also the second goal he scored, he's just at the right place at the right time when the ball is played across. It really, really is. Best performance I've seen from Miggy, but again, consistency is what we want to see, which I believe he can do. Because I've seen a lot of improvements, particularly a lot from this season from Miggy, but let's keep that up. Really, really hope he keeps that up now. But yesterday, best performance from him I've seen at the club, everywhere on that pitch. He really, really was absolutely fantastic. I have to give it 10 out of 10. I have to give it.
Wow. Big up, Pete. Big up Miggy Almiron. Big up Miggy Almiron for the 10. Go on.
I just want it. Do you know what it is, Pete? Right? I agree with that, because I mean it is a 10 out of 10 performance, and obviously I know I said I'd give Botman man the match over Miggy just because of, but even though it's a hard choice, I think they're all men of the match, to be honest. But the way I look at it is, I want to see Miggy played on the left for a change.
Yes,
I want to see him given a full game on the left. I've been banging this drum for a long time. He's never played on the left for Newcastle since Rafa. He's only had a couple of chances, but nothing major on the left. He's always been on the right. So, get this guy on the left. He'll be devastating on the left. He's proved it in the MLS, and and I know people will say, "Oh yeah, MLS, it's a bit like the Championship League One standard." Doesn't matter. He's played well on the left. He does it for his country. He plays on the left and drifts in to centre midfield. So, if Eddie Howe would just give him a game on the left for one game and just see what he does, because I reckon we could tear up a lot of defences.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think A's got room to change it up, sort of thing. If A's then comes back in, then play ASM on the right and just go from there. And then we have a great team. Callum Wilson loved that. We'll come to Callum in a bit. Go through the comments as well. Let's go on to we got to go to I think it's let's do the coffee. Great team performance. But you've forgotten to come to support us in a bit. Good afternoon to you, Romsung. Hope you're fine. Was Mike Dean really on VAR? Yes, he was on VAR duties as well. He was indeed. Our kit looks awesome. It does. Afternoon to Tom Dixon. Afternoon from DJL Flus. Haven't seen it for a long time. Keeping fine. Force of build performance. Seems like they have been stewing over Bournemouth game and would have won even if they hadn't had the player sent off. Really impressed me. I think that's the best performance of the season. I can't lie. I love 7th. I would be higher than that. I would be I want to be in the top 4, even top 6. I wasn't there, but watched it, and the Wafers were fantastic. Credit to them. All of them travel doing there, especially in the minute. We've got goosebumps here and then saying Ron Bobby Robson's just class. That's beautiful. Good touch. We got the Chisway. Hope you came on with mods there. We're having a good weekend down there, and hope you get some great weather as well. If ASM and Isak's fit. Murphy don't start. I have to kind of agree. However, United got battered 4.5 times for 2 games this season, and in 6. Wow. But he got 3 goals back and still lost. I've seen Miggy kick the ball with his right foot yesterday. 11 out of 10. That's surely Peter. Well, I think I got Conor offside as well. Like Callum Wilson for you, Tony. And look, it's great to see him back with a goal, of course. He should have scored earlier on as well. But look, at the end of the day, let's be real. He didn't have any touches, but that goal was just a common close-range finish. Went to VAR, and let's be real, it was never offside from Willock. But it's good to see him back.
It is, John. Absolutely brilliant. Well timed as well, because we needed him back with Isak being out. So, good timing that he came back. He played 66 minutes. I know he was a bit disappointed when he came off. He didn't look very happy about it. And obviously there was a bit of a conversation between him and Eddie Howe. And I think it was probably Eddie saying, look, I don't want you getting injured. I want to bring you off and just give you that time. I can understand why he's not happy about it, because he thought he might have gotten another goal if he stayed on the field. But, that just shows commitment, and that shows the way the players are, so that they want to win. And that's what I want to see. I haven't got a problem if a player's had a great game and he gets pulled off and he doesn't like it and he feels angry, because that's what you want to see. You want to see a bit of fire in the players. The ones you don't want to see are the ones that have an atrocious game and get pulled off, and then still have a go about getting pulled off. And you think, well, no, you got pulled off for a reason, because you're crap. But, but the likes of Wilson, when he come off and wasn't happy, that's what I want to see. I want to see the players with a bit of fire in their belly and showing that, But, I mean, overall in the game, 12 touches in the game. He had 1 shot on target, which was his goal, and the 2 off target, Other than that, he played absolutely well in 75% in key passes, John. So, he played really well yesterday. So I'm going to give Callum Wilson an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel that's a fair shout. Like I say, he did well yesterday, and I think 8 out of 10 is a fair shout. But as I say, I want to see more players be like that they're playing so well, and when they're getting brought off, they're not happy about it, because they want to prove that they can get more goals. And, I haven't got a problem with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, And it was nice for Eddie to stop him and say, look, this is why I've brought you off, But, like I say, it's the ones who don't play well when they get pulled off and they're still having to go about it. That's the sort of players we don't want at the club.
Absolutely. I want to see players that care. I want competition at my football club as well. And it's all about squad game. It's not all about being the first level, just being the first level or the player. You get your chance when it comes, simple as that. So for me, I have to go with that score as well, in a way. So,
and also, when you go back to, Miggy's first goal, he didn't actually hit that with his right foot. That was with his left foot as well, because he's only a left-footed player. So that just shows you. And that surprised Leno, because he didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, the
way he got the dip on it and everything, it was absolutely perfect, inch perfect.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Right, that's the first 11 starting 11 player ratings. We go on to the subs. We go on to Elliot Anderson. For me, he came on trying to make things happen when he does. He's so eager, so passionate, but he got dispossessed quite a few times as well. None of the assists for Miggy that was offside, but other than that, he just did what he had to do, Pete.
Yeah, I'm glad he came on. I thought he did all right when he come on as well. Was unlucky as well, but did get possessed a couple of times. But you can tell what he's about now, Elliot Anderson, in this Premier League now. He's been given that opportunity and he's shown what he can do. I give him a 7.
Fair enough. We're going to go on to Ryan Theatre, and no sub as well. And who did he came on for? Wilson. I think did he come for Wilson? Yeah, I think he must have come on for Wilson as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And he came on, scored, which is offside. Other than that, he just came on where we wanted to give him. But other than that, another one just ran. I'll give him, me personally, I would have given him a standard 5. I don't know what you think, Tony.
Yeah, Johnny came on. He didn't have a lot to do, really. He had that goal. But thing is, had he been aware that Willock was behind him, he could have left that ball and not touched it. And Willock might have got on and scored. So it was one of them. He just didn't look behind him to see if there was anybody with him. But I'll give him the standard 5.
Yeah, that's fine. And we got all the others came on. Who else came on? There's quite a few came on.
Lascelles.
Yeah, Target and Jamal Lewis as well. And they all came on. I'll just give them all standard 5 people to them.
Yeah, they're only on with about 7 minutes left, plus a bit of stoppage time. I know Lewis had fall for the goal, but they're not on too long, are they, in that period?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Lewis done now at Newcastle?
No, I wouldn't have said so. He hasn't really played, that's the thing.
He hasn't, no.
Whereas Murphy's had loads of chances, and we've seen a lot of disappointments. Lewis has barely played at the moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in January, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he needs game time. He needs games.
He does.
And it's unfair on the kids, you know what I mean? So I think Jamal has got, 2 years left on his contract after this one? And I honestly think he needs to be playing games. He needs to be playing games. If Norwich gets promoted, I think they should take him back home because I think he is well loved at Norwich, you know what I mean? So
he was saying.
That was under Daniel Farkas as well, but would they have him back? I don't know, but he definitely needs to have games, and because that's what we need. So we're going to go on to the fans. We go with you, Pete, the fans.
Our fans, you've got to give them a 10, don't you? Because the atmosphere is just brilliant when all the Newcastle fans that travel down there keep the atmosphere lightening, keep it going, non-stop singing from start to finish. And that's what our fan base is all about. 10, easily.
10.
I totally agree.
Absolutely. Got a couple here from Lewis needs game time. Also, he said that Bruno got sacked as well. And 7 for Anderson, 5 for Frazier, both done now, but Frazier scored, but he didn't. He's called offside. He did. It was offside. Tom's given us Pope 6, Trippier 9, bottom 8, Shard, Burnson, Longstaff 7, 9 for Luke, Bruno 8, and Miro 9, Murphy 7, Wilson 8. And that's fair enough. That's Tom's player ratings. Thank you, Tom. Let's go on to going to Eddie Howe, Tony.
Well, he surprised everybody with his selection. Obviously, Jacob Murphy in there and Sean Longstaff and J7 on the bench, you know. So he caused a bit of stir amongst people thinking, oh, well, hang on a minute, this ain't going to... And we saw the comments yesterday, John. People were putting it on, oh, well, we're not going to win with that team, you know. We're not going to do nothing with that team. Totally the opposite. I mean, we were a bit critical about what he was playing yesterday, like with Murphy. But you know what? He got the team selection bang on, then, didn't he? He must have, because we won it 4-1. We just played I said to you yesterday, John, when we done our warm-up show, what I want to see in the game is I want to see more intensity. I want to see more pace about us. I want to see a massive improvement from that game against Bournemouth. And by God, did we get that yesterday. We had the intensity. We had the pace. Every time we went forward, you would think we were going to score a goal because it just seemed that way. Every time we attacked them, we were going to score. We were ripping their defence apart. They were just getting ripped wide open. Regardless, they had 10 men on the field. We were still sliding through their defence. So I'm going to give Eddie Howe a 9 out of 10 for his management yesterday.
Fair enough. What about you, Pete? The same?
Yeah, I agree. 9 out of 10, yep.
Yeah, he's got it right. I mean, didn't like the team line up at first, and then I get pissed. Yeah, but at the end of the day, right, just accept this and accept that sort of thing, yeah? But you have to have an opinion on it sort of thing. You know, you're not going to be Sky Sports presenter sitting there and saying, no, you have to have an opinion sort of thing for me. I didn't like the midfield. I didn't like the team lineup, but Eddie got away with it as well. So, again, people saying that he only picks the players that he's been doing well in training. Me, I'll play your best strong players as well. So I think that's our player rating sort of thing as well. I think we've done that as well. I mean, the referee, for me, I'll give him, he had a good game. I'll give him a 7 or 8 out of 10. I thought he did well today. I think he got the shallow ball right. decision right, being sent off as well. So he got him right back. And he should have put Mbabu as well, which he didn't.
Well,
so
I think he should have won as well.
I agree. There's a lot of them.
He didn't get the Chalobah right straight away. He had to rely on his technology. But the line of his vision, he was there when that tackle went in, but he played on for the advantage. And then he pulled it back, which was good refereeing. And then obviously he sent to the monitor to check it and,
Should have just pulled it straight
did that.
red out.
He should have, really. But
because
sometimes in real time, it's hard to judge whether it's a red card challenge or a
definite red. I mean, which referee have I noticed? Anthony Taylor.
Yeah.
The last 2 games he's refereed, he hasn't needed VAR. He's pulled straight red out like he did North London Derby yesterday and the Wolves and Man City game.
Yeah.
He didn't need VAR. Yeah. All he just said, I'm happy that is a red card decision. Pulled it out. And there you are.
I mean, I'll share this, John, as well.
Because that one should have just been, if that was in front of the referee, Simon England was it?
Darren England.
Darren England, sorry. To Darren England, sorry.
I thought he had a good game.
He did, but should have just. But if that was in front of him, he should be pulling that straight red out. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is the challenge yesterday. I mean, you can see why it's a red card. And, Marco Silva saying it's harsh. It's not harsh. There's his studs. It's above Sean's ankle. And look at the bend on it. And we'll zoom it up. Oh, there we go. And then you can see there the bend on Sean's ankle. It's a definite red. That's well above the ankle. I mean, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. The studs are showing, and Sean Longstaff's lucky he hasn't broken that. That could have been a leg breaker. It really, really could have been red card all day. He's out of control. He's well out of control.
And for Marco Silva to come out and say that's harsh, and VAR, why they were checking it like that? Well, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, Marco Silva, that isn't harsh. That is a disgraceful tackle. And I'm sure if he was playing football and he was tackled like that, he would be incensed if the player got away with the yellow card over that. So,
one Fulham fan that said it wasn't a red card as well. But majority of the Fulham fans, when I was looking on the social media, they said dreadful challenge, red card, and they also said Chalobah is also a liability to our team. Get him sold in January.
Sums up, doesn't it? That does, isn't it? But I just thought I'd put that on screen anyway. But yeah, it was definitely a red card. But no, he had a good game, and so did Mike Dean as well for a change. He's actually backed us for a change, But I think VAR's under a lot more scrutiny now. And if you watched yesterday, when you saw the VAR, when you saw him go to the monitor, now have you noticed? Now when you watch the monitors, they're getting every single angle. The referees now, they're not just getting one angle. It's various angles. And this is what I've said. This is how it should work, because I don't care if it takes 3 minutes to come to that decision, because that can be added on at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
I just want to see the right decisions being made.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing that, where if you go back to the Palace game, Michael Salisbury was shown one angle from Lee Mason, which was the total wrong angle. And had he seen the side angle, he would have then decided whether to either give us a penalty or just give the goal and play the advantage. So I'm glad VAR now shown every single angle that they've got available and show to the referee on the pitch side as well. That's the way it should be, because we're getting a lot of criticism around the world that we're not good enough for VAR. And I'll tell you what, it's not unfair criticism. It's the right criticism, because we are bloody crap at VAR in this country. And that is why we've got no refs going to the World Cup as VAR referees, because they're not good enough. No, quite simply. And, you watch the Germany game on Monday. He had to go to the monitor twice for VAR. It works well. If they can work it well in international games and other leagues around the world, then why can't we get it right? And now it seems to be that we're now starting to get VAR on track, and it's starting to bring out the right results now.
Even though there was a cock-up in the Palace-Chelsea game.
I didn't say that one.
Oh, I don't know how that was given because it should have been.
It's a Thiago Silva when you handle
Yeah,
on the goal line.
Yeah, it was the Thiago Silva. Yep.
Lucky fella. Got DJ Flood, so big up to you, mate. Don't get watching me live shows. Normally just catch it on then. The missus work staff hours and normally have to bend, but always catch up for a good show, lads. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. There's always playback as well, so brilliant. So I missed the last couple of streams, studying my green children, young children, and my head spoggled. Mixed scores, cracking. Jag, listen, good to agree, my guy, because your studies got to come first and also your family too. And thank you, Jesse. Please hit those likes and consider subscribe if you're new to the show. Thank you very much indeed. Fulham did miss Palhinha and Mitro as well. They missed Palhinha.
Mitrovic was rushed back.
Yeah, he was.
They thought they wanted to get him to get one over us, but he was just rushed back and he's picked up injured again.
Agreed. Absolutely. He'll be out for a while now, and that's a big loss for Fulham. And thanks, Alan. Great show, lads. Thank you. And thanks so much indeed. F saying good luck to Jag as well. They're down to 10. F side of Chestware. And all the lads as well. I've got one here from Alan, 100% red, a leg breaker. Of course, it was a leg breaker. That looked bad and deliberate and creating and tackle. I can't believe the ref gave me a yellow until he looked at the review. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a poor tackle, by the way. If Salah scored, Miggy scored, the media would have been hyping up all week. Exactly. Because it's Miggy, they're not bothered. Things are going to kick off between these and Fulham. Wow, we'll catch along with later on. Definitely all right, but surely they can't complain about that. Interesting to see if he ever criticised Vieira after VAR.
Can't blame him, can you? I mean, that was ridiculous, that.
Agreed. If he broke his leg, Silva would have been out saying Ashalba is upset and is not in his nature to hurt a player, blah, blah. Manager should criticise our own players for tackles like that. It was a shocking tackle, Tony. We said this.
Yeah, it was a shocking tackle. It was absolutely disgraceful, and he should have been. He should have come out and said, "Oh well, I suppose VAR's got it right, and the player was in the wrong, and I'll be having words with the player." But he's just not bothered. So if that's the way Marco Silva wants to be, then yeah. But I would expect if it was one of our players that Eddie Howe would come out and say, "Well, actually, that is a disgraceful tackle, and I'm not happy with it." And I would expect Eddie Howe to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Vital, I like coffee. Have a good day, mate. Definitely read that. Surely they can't argue that exactly. Good night to you, Ronson. Hope you'll find a good sleep, mate. And what's the bleeding story, guys? What about you, Del Boy? What a win yesterday. What a win for you guys yesterday in the North London derby. London is definitely red. I have to agree with him. Great show. Thanks, Son Gala. Thanks to you, mate. Thanks to Gary D as well. And so we don't want to play ratings. We've got Brentford next Saturday, and that'll be a cracking game. I'm sure I'll be up for that game. And also, I've got a date as well on Friday and Saturday.
You're lucky, man, you.
So I can't wait for that. I'm sure.
Thing is, I was close with my prediction about Man U. I did say 4-0.
You did.
I think if I'd have said 6-3, I think Macy would have been upset.
She would have done. I'm going to check Sari, by the way, sort of thing, and she ain't happy at all whatsoever. She's not happy at all. And
John, we've been on them wrong end of the results at Man City. I mean, we went down there last season and got beat 5-0. We've been smashed down there. So, not being funny, it's a hard place to go to. And the thing is, I said after that Man City game, don't think there'll be another team who will take on Man City like we did. And that's the thing. Nobody have they really? And I'll tell you now, Liverpool, they're looking really bad at the moment. I mean, their defence is absolutely a shambles, and they were taking advantage of Trent Alexander-Arnold. This is proven why Southgate has said Kieran Trippier's all-round game is much better than Alexander-Arnold's, because Alexander-Arnold can't defend, and they're having a torrid time in defence. And what makes it even more sweeter is we're above them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I hope it stays that way between now and the end of the season. Let's keep going. Let's beat Brentford and let's put pressure on them. Do you know what I mean? Because all this top six, so-called top six, yeah? Do you know what's to have a takeover? Look at them now. Look at Liverpool. Arrest me case, people. Arrest me case. Great win for both our clubs. Years later, lads. Aaron, well done to you, mate. And I think you win the title this season. I really think you will win it. And your date is 10 out of 10 to John. Big up to you, mate. Clop out. Take care, lads. Have the go. You take care, mate, and watch what you're doing. And to score a great goal today, he did. To be fair, he's one of the better players today. I really thought that. But Martial came on as well.
Well, the rest of the players were just atrocious. The defense was just all over the place. The midfield again was crap.
He's got a big job, Ten Hag. He has got a big job. Because I'll tell you something now, right? I mean, if Man United's going to win a title again, they're not winning a title again.
And the way that the passing was just all over the place, particularly in the first half. If you're conceding 4 goals in the first half,
it's ridiculous.
That's an embarrassment.
Tell you what, John, I've got some interesting stats here. Today's game so far with Leeds and Villa, Leeds 64% possession over Villa, but we've only had 4 shots, not on target and 2 off target. Now, in the 36% possession Villa's got, they've had a total of 7 shots with 5 on target.
Wow.
And
they've had getting chances, though.
123 passes Villa's made to Leeds' 228. And 5 saves from the Leeds goalkeeper. So the 5 they've had on target's all been saved by Meslier. Or whatever you call him.
Yeah, Meslier. He's a good keeper.
I think he's a dodgy keeper anyway. I think he's dodgy, John. No.
Is he?
He's not great, like I've got to admit.
He's not, is he?
He ain't that great. Not that great. Take care to you, Stephen. Watch what you're doing, mate. And he scored a great goal. To be fair, I read that down. 130 deaths yesterday. Yeah, I've heard that. So sorry to hear the news, man.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so sad. I just hope that's okay. And whoever lost their lives, and whoever's got involved losing their life, and me condolences goes out to you, the family and friends as well. We can win against Man. That's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough. I'm not sure. But after the day's performance, for what I've seen, right, we've got to give them the right goal and don't be scared of them. A lot of Man U players didn't track back either exactly. They didn't know what the Manchester Derby meant at all whatsoever. Liverpool fans on meltdown on TikTok, lads. I've heard that as well. Carry on. I'm glad we played well against Man City. I'll tell you what, we were better than Man City. We took them apart. And I don't normally say that, guys, about playing Man City, that we took them apart. You know what I mean? We absolutely, if it was a boxing match, that would have been stopped later on, I'm telling you, because we battered them.
And tell you what, John, obviously Dubravka didn't make the team again. I don't know what's going on down there with Dubravka. That's the last 2 squads he's not made now. And I'll tell you what, don't want him back at the club now. He can go as far as I'm concerned. I want him gone now.
Spatty's done me out. Yep, Spatty's done me out.
As much as people may criticise me, yes, he's been a great servant. He's done well. But this season, I'm sorry, get out the club.
Exactly.
If he's not playing, get him back in January and sell him to somebody else.
Exactly. It's like, if you don't want to be here, you don't want to fight your place, there's the door. Goodbye.
You don't want people with bad attitudes at the football club, do you know what I mean? But he's been a great servant, Martin, but his attitude is just not right. It's not. And good evening, John and Cole. Great win yesterday. We were in control even before the sending off. Barber, you're absolutely right. We were in control. And I know people's going to say, yeah, but 11 men sort of thing with a different game. Probably not.
Don't matter. Wouldn't have been a different game, John. I think it would have been the same result.
Exactly. Well, absolutely bothered them. From minute 1 to minute 90. End of story, people. End of story, man. But before we wrap up, right, I've got one more thing to show, right? I am going to bring it up, by the way. You're going to love this, people, right? And it was, I think it was brought up by, let's have a look. No, it's Steve Bruce as well. And I'm going to share it right now. Now, if you look at that, guys, right, the Baggies Bible, right, True Magpie, I think it's True Geordie brought this up. I could be wrong. But the championship points after 11 games, right? Darren Moore, this is going in the past, 20, these are full West Brom managers, by the way. Darren Moore, 21 points. Slaven Bilic, 22. Fowler and Ishmael, 22. And Steve Bruce with 10.
That's appalling.
After 11 games.
That just shows he's appalling, Steve Bruce. Man, West Brom fans, just do the decent thing and just get rid of him. He's useless. You're a team that should be now challenged to get back in the Premier League. And it's so far, you just you're going the opposite way at the moment. Just pull the trigger on him. He's absolutely useless. And you should just call it a day with him now.
Well,
and any other club, just don't bother. Just keep it well away from him.
You would think he would do the decent thing and resign, but he won't because he wants his payout, because he needs to get his kebabs and his Greg sausage rolls.
Well, the fact is he's resigned from previous clubs in the past. He did it with Hull because of transfers. Probably because of how the money is in football now, which is why he wants his payoffs.
He's got an 8 million payoff on us.
Absolute fraud.
He is a fraud. Absolute fraud. I'm sorry, people, but he's a fraud. And you know what? The sooner West Brom gets rid of him, the better. Because at the end of the day, your club deserves so much better. So much better. Because you'll take it down to League One if it happens. Just got more comments for that. Well, Klopp next for the sack, hopefully. Constantly sacking him. Steve Bruce loves relegation battles, regardless of what tier he is managing. And that's just another bombshell.
Never say never to that, John. Never say never to that, because you never know. Because Liverpool aren't playing well. I mean, Brighton took the pot yesterday. I mean, they were fortunate to get that own goal off Brighton.
Yeah.
Other than that, because Robert Sanchez was trying to punch fresh air and it hit the defender and went in. But had they not scored that, Trossard would have scored that winner anyway. And I'll tell you what, that was nothing. Some of our fans were like, we don't want Trossard in the summer like last year and everything in the season at the end of the transfer window.
There'll be a lot of clubs that'll be wanting now. He's quality.
5 goals in 7 games.
Yeah, we talk about Trossard, right?
Yeah.
He's a cracking player, him, by the way. Top player. He's 29. I think he's 28, 29.
27.
Oh, he's 27. What a quality player. I'll tell you what.
Great.
He is that deserving, right? I mean,
player I would love at the club as well.
Say again, Pete?
A player I would love as well at the club.
Yes.
He's brilliant.
I'll tell you something, right? In a couple of years' time, I mean, if I want to decide, if Eddie Howe goes to England, I hope he doesn't. God forbid, I hope he doesn't. But if he does go to England, right, then I take De Zerbi or Simeone. If we don't get Simeone, I think De Zerbi would be a top chase. And also, we talked about breaking. I wouldn't say breaking news as well. It's sats as well. According to a tweet from Owen O'Brien, right? I never heard of him, right? Saying that understand West Brom holding in internal talks around the future man Steve Bruce. Told Bruce has lost the support from many within the club. Also with senior players, talks will continue.
He's on the way out. I think that must be he's on the way out.
That's according to Owen O'Brien. But I will pick it up on your show later on, Peter. I'll keep an eye open on that one as well. So that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap on that. And I'm going to say thanks for coming in, guys. Tony, where can we find you, mate, on your socials as usual for those who don't know?
Yeah. So, well, you could find me down there.
Yeah, go on.
Find me down there at TonyTooney31. Follow me and I'll follow you back. And also Sefton, who's unfortunately not in the chat today because he's gone out for somebody's 50th. They're going on a pub crawl. That sounds like it's going to end very drunk and disorderly somewhere along the line. Set up a website, www.northwestmags.com. Great website. Check it out. All sorts doing there. There's a forum where you can have a talk. You can have discussions with other fans and gallery where you can send your pics in when you've been at games and things like that. Have a look. Lots to do on there. Lots to see. We're on there, podcasts. So, yeah, there's lots to see on there. And I believe he's adding Pete's channel to that lineup as well.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
He's a good lad, Sefton, and well done to him for this website. It's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't checked it out, go and have a look. It's brilliant.
Yeah, big up to Sefton. Big up to him. Brilliant channel. Just before we get Pete's as well. What gets to me about Bruce, it's never his fault. I can get away with managers, limited ability. Hooting for one, but he's worked hard to make up for it. Bruce is lazy and takes no responsibility, and he's a fraud. And Barbara as well, great show as usual. John, keep it up, Barbara. Thank you so much indeed. So, Pete, where can we find you, mate?
All YouTube, it's all PD Proudlock. So YouTube, me Facebook page, me Twitter, Instagram as well. Of course, I do have me match review and player rating show at 8 o'clock with you two joining me for that one.
That will be some show. That'll be an amazing show. Do jump on Pete Proudlock's channel, 8 o'clock at night. and he needs lots of subscribers as well. So join us for that as well. And if you can find us on my channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. If you'd like to super chat us, then click on the $sign. And if you'd like to become a member, click on the member sign, 99p. And that's all there is to it. And apparently, Knights and the Gearman, apparently Amanda has set her sights on Miggy would be a quality signing. And I tell you what, that will be a quality signing. 50 million quid is quarter of the Shakhtar Donetsk. They don't need the money. That's why they're asking for 50 million quid as well. Let's get John to 5K. So October ends. I'm on 3,500 odds or whatever it could be. Yes, please do Mudryk as well, and he's going to be some player. Whoever gets in will be some player as well. Me personally, I would rather take the Napoli winger, Kvaratskhelia as well. That guy's brilliant.
You would, because you watch Serie A, John.
Hey, John, can I just...
Yeah,
our good friend Ben Jacobs.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag says he didn't bring on Cristiano Ronaldo out of respect for his big career. I find that astonishing thing for a manager to both do and admit.
Wow. What's your take on that one? Guys?
I think that says he's out the door, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's done.
I'll tell you what, I can see Man U getting rid of Ten Hag soon if he keeps on getting beat.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, this is a long-term project, and they can't sack him. It's the players, guys. The players got to take responsibility, man.
Too many.
The club's poison, John.
Fred, McTominay, they're just bang average. They're useless. And I mean, if this is a derby game, you're playing the day, and the first half you're not up for that, particularly in the first half. You have 4 goals per past you in the first half. That is embarrassing. And a lot of those Man United fans were disgusted and they walked out
at half-time.
For half-time.
We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. Not away from home, we wouldn't. We stayed to the very end.
Yeah.
But I have seen fans walk out of the stadium. I can remember getting against Portsmouth. We went 3-0 down. Tony can remember this. 3-0 down in about 7 minutes. Right? We lost by 4 goals to 1. The fans walked out.
Yeah, I remember it against Arsenal as well 10 years ago when we were 4-0 down. And the couple of guys that sat along from me, well, you probably know one of them anyway, because he's always been quite famous when he's been seen on TV, because he used to sit along from me with his mate, a guy called Keith, big guy with NUFC on his belly.
Yeah.
And him and his mate got up and they said, "Come on, Tony, you're not watching this shit, are you?" He says, we're going down the pub because we've had bloody enough of this. And I thought, I'm not going yet. I'm going to stay in the hope, even if we get a couple of goals in the second half, And I'm glad I did stay because it ended up as 4-4. But I bet a lot of the fans that day that walked out when we were 4-0 down, because there was quite a lot went out the stadium that day. Mm-hmm. I bet they were all regretting it. Shit, look, we could have gone back there. It's 4-4. You never go until it's over. And I mean, yeah, we were the first team that's ever done that in history to be 4 down at half time and come back to 4-all, But I always say the turning point in that game was Abu Dhabi. And I said to a guy sitting next to me, why on earth has he done that to get himself sent off? How stupid is he? And then because he done it, he put Nolan on the ground and Barton on the ground and got himself sent off by Phil Dowd. And that was the turning point, because after that, we started attacking Arsenal. Mm-hmm. And when we got back to 4-4, we nearly actually won that 5-4 because Kevin Nolan shaved the post, didn't he, at the end? And
Leon Best, one of Leon Best's goal.
Leon Best was offside.
And it wasn't offside. Rosicki was playing him on.
Yeah. And they were all saying Mike Williamson made a meal of the penalties, didn't he? But that was just sour grapes. But, but that was one of the greatest games I think I've ever seen. One of the greatest comebacks for sure.
Yeah.
Of all time. Great comeback of all time. Brilliant. And I'm just saying, because we're playing Man U next, we will be in 2 weeks' time. I'll be in Turkey for that game as well, 4:00. So I'll be watching that game live. If I can find a pub somewhere, I'm sure there's plenty of pubs that I can.
Yeah.
massive United followers in Turkey. I'm going to say massive, absolutely massive. Terminator over Ronaldo and Casemiro. Why is Casemiro not playing? I don't get that at all whatsoever. Don't get it at all. And I think the hype's got it wrong with him, by the way. But he's got, I bet you he'll be playing against Newcastle. I'll bet you. And he'll probably get man of the match as well. You watch. Haaland must be really proud of dear. I bet he is. We'll have 4 young Haaland will score a hat-trick against Man U and break new records, like fastest hat-tricks as well. And you got one more first. The young Arsenal lads goal was excellent. Thomas Partey, the first goal was quality.
That was good.
Absolutely quality. Right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. And we told you our links and we told you where we're at. And we're going to go on Peach Channel tonight, 8 o'clock. So you need to join us for that. We'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully it should be fun and games. And until then, guys, watch what you're doing. And it's goodbye for now. And enjoy your afternoon. What you got left.